Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight? Bear with me for a minute. I'm kind of trying to get everything set up. I'm in a different room than I normally am in, so yeah. I know the lighting's different. I do have my same backdrop, but of course, moving from one room to the other, I went from a very dim dark light to a very stark LED light. I told my husband, please get me a soft light because you can see every wrinkle I own. So I'm not digging that too much. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's starting off their week okay. I Hey guys. I wanted to just go over basics of dream work, of what you need to do, because I can sit here and tell you all day long what dream interpretations are, what this means and that means, but if you're not dreaming, if you're not getting enough rest so that you are actually facilitating dreaming, then it doesn't matter that I can go over all of this with you. You have to be able to get enough sleep. You have to be able to hit those stages of sleep that allow you to hit the dream states. I hear people say, well, I don't dream, I don't dream, I don't dream. You don't dream that you remember, and if you're not even reaching those levels of sleep, then no, you probably aren't dreaming. You hear the people that go, "Oh, I sleep 5 hours a night, 5 hours a night." Well, you have to reach at least two of the stages of sleep so that your body can facilitate dreaming. It's very important to dream because it's basically like dream therapy. That's how our mind and our brain can shut off the conscious, tap into the subconscious, and start trying to filter and figure out what's going on in your life now, what's been happening, trying to sort through things and figure things out. And if you are not being facilitated in that by getting the proper amount of sleep, then you are going to struggle. You are going to have difficulty remembering your dreams, even understanding your dreams at all. You can remember snippets here and there, but sometimes that's not enough. You need more than that. So the two main stages of sleep that you need to, the first stage is like alpha or theta, and that's basically where you're starting to drift off into sleep. And you can be aroused very easily. You hear a noise or something along those lines. Your body temperature kind of starts to drop, and your heart rate drops, and everything just kind of is putting you into a relaxed state. And if you're in and out, in and out, in and out, things are waking you up. You can't get comfortable. You're not doing well. You're not settling down. It takes a lot longer. Some people can lay their heads down on a pillow and be dreaming in 5 minutes. And God love those people, because I'm not one of them. Also, the second stage is delta, and that is when everything kicks in, the hormones, the enzymes, everything kicks in to where your body relaxes enough. You go into REM sleep. You start feeling, you can start feeling that jerk, and that is literally when your body is reaching at its most relaxed, and you can start dreaming. So starting to dream, I mean, it's so important that you hit that dream state, because when you have to be fully asleep before that happens. If you're interrupted, new moms have a horrible time with that. Anybody who, if you're caring for someone, somebody's ill in the home, you're just not letting yourself hit that deep state, because you have this sense of hyper awareness that somebody may need me. I may need to wake up, and somebody is needing my attention, or you live in a not so safe place, so any of the noises that you hear, you don't feel safe, so you're going to be woken up. So it is tough, but you have to get your body used to it. You have to start getting your body set to a routine, and you're going to require more than 3 to 5 hours of sleep at night. That's just the bones of it, because your body is going to go through 3 to 4 of those stages of sleep, in and out, a little more conscious, down into the dream state, coming up out of that a little more conscious. And you have to be able to have that cycle at least 3 or 4 times during your sleep time. And if you...
Can you make Nick a moderator? Can you?
Did I not have...
Because she was on with you last time.
Yeah, how does it
moderating? So she was on.
Oh, yes, you're right. I want to make Miss Nikki a moderator. Hold on just a minute.
She's that MJBC mommy.
That should have done it.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, all right, sorry,
Thanks for being patient. Thanks for being patient.
Girl.
No, you're fine. So I know that it's really, really difficult for those people to find that routine. And so people are like, I don't dream. Well, you probably are dreaming little snippets here and there, but you're storylines, something that you can remember. I was here, I did this happened, and then I woke up. You may just remember, why was I at the lake? It's cold outside. Why would I be at the lake? Dreaming about being at the lake. And that's all you remember. But that's something. Write that down. Always have something to write your dreams down. You need that, because... And I'm bad at that too. Famous last words when I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so significant. And I'll never forget it. There's no way. I'm going to remember that. And so you get up and you move about and you get your brain cells going and you get your body moving. And then you're like, oh my God, I had the greatest dream.
Who is that girl?
Oh crap. What was that? What happened? I don't even understand what that, where it went. I just knew I was never going to forget it. But if you're not writing that down, you will forget it. And again, you don't have to write down these huge, long storylines. I was driving to the lake. I was with so-and-so and so-and-so and their dog. And there were 14 people at the lake. You don't have to write all of that down. Just put driving, lake, who you were with. And all of that, you'll plug that back in and you'll remember that eventually. And it will make a story and it will tell a story. Again, because the information that we're trying to filter through is coming from spirit guides, from ancestors, from the ethereal plane. All of that information that's coming through, it doesn't always make sense, because they're all knowing. They're so much higher in understanding and intellect and everything into our little human brains. They have to give us this information in something that we can understand, in words that, in pictures, in things that we can identify with here. It can be something absolutely off the wall. Why would I be dreaming about fish in my sink in my kitchen at my house? Live fish. It doesn't. It's not going to make sense right away. You have to write those things down, and eventually you can start plugging those things in, because they're giving us the information. We have to filter through that and figure out what they're trying to tell us, because their language and our understanding are completely different. What are some questions that are coming through?
Tara asked about what's the difference between a dream and a clairvoyant dream?
Well, because not every dream is a clairvoyant dream, obviously. just your average everyday dreams that you're having are just your body's and your mind's way of trying to filter through your life and trying to answer questions of things that are happening in your life. And if you have a clairvoyant dream, you may not even realize it at the time that that's what it is. A lot of times, even someone who this has happened to their entire life don't even realize it until something happens that they dreamt about. Something becomes true. And then you're like, okay, well, I knew that. I dreamt that. And if you're doing a dream journal and you're taking very, very good notes, you can refer back to that and you can try to figure out something that happened around that time. But I promise you, just because you know things, if you don't know what to do with that information, people are out there saying, what does this mean for me? What does the fact that what happened to me, what is the fact that I dreamt about and knew about 9/11 happening? What could I have done? There was nothing that I could have done. But just, even to this day, I'm like, what was that for? Why did I get that information? Why did I know that was going to happen before it happened? What could I have done? I don't know. I mean, sometimes there's no explanation as to why we get this information, what we can do with it. Because some people think, well, I knew I should have called my aunt and told her not to go to work that day because I felt like something was going to happen because I dreamt it. And I don't think it's our place to stop. We can't stop things from happening. We can't stop people from dying. We can't. And will we ever understand why we were given that information? Probably not, unless you're so connected with your spirit guides that you literally can say, what was that? And what was I supposed to do with the information? And what can I do different next time? You can't warn someone that if they leave their home, they're going to die, because you can't stop that if that is what is supposed to happen. So sometimes knowing it doesn't happen until after the fact.
They wanted to know, is this going to be on YouTube later? I don't know if it's some of it's downloading. We have some downloading issues, so I don't know.
Well, somebody's going to have to.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, this one won't. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Well, it does save, because my last one's saved. Okay. So this one will save. Yeah. I just need to figure out how to get it transferred over. So absolutely.
I got that one, yeah.
And it's also Native Dreamwalker on YouTube, and I'll try to get that one uploaded over there.
I'll let everybody know.
Absolutely.
Then Christiella asked, do you have to enter the REM cycle before you dream?
You do. It's just like phases that have to get you there, because so many things have to come into play. Your body has to be completely relaxed so that you're not acting out what your brain is working on in the dream state. So you do have to reach those phases of sleep. That's science. You just have to. So I also wrote down, because my goal, especially now, my goal for tonight is to help people get to sleep, to help people be able to get themselves into a state of sleep and into a state of rest so that they can dream. Once you start getting this routine, it may literally not come to you right away. You may be like, I've gone to sleep at 10 o'clock every night. I've gotten up every day at 8 a.m. I'm doing everything. It's a process, because your brain literally has to process and be used to this happening the same way each night. And you just have to kind of get your body used to it.
Keisha wanted to know, why can I speak and understand another language in my sleep?
Because that information is coming from the ethereal plane. It could also be information that's being given to you. That could be a past life. Definitely could be a past life memory. Especially the fact that you're hearing it, you know it's another language, and you know you're understanding it. To me, that wouldn't be something that, oh, I knew Italian when I was a very young child. That's a bit different. I mean, if you're completely and totally knowing another language in a dream and knowing you completely understand that, that sounds to me like it could be a past life, or it could be from the ethereal plane, from your spirit guides.
That's
or
cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing to do.
What was the, why is it sometimes you wake up exhausted from your dream?
Well, a lot of times you are doing a lot of things in your dream. It's quite possible you're going into the astral plane. I have people who tell me that and it's happened to me, woke up with bruises and very sore, very, very tired, very exhausted. I expect it because I dream walk, but the average everyday person is probably going into the astral plane. And those are the people who usually wake up very sore, very tired, feeling like I worked all night, didn't get any sleep. And yeah, that does happen for
Does
sure.
that happen to you every time?
Yeah,
It does.
a lot.
So some nights are worse than others.
Some nights
I
are
guess,
a
maybe.
lot worse than others.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody says I was in their dream. I do get very tired. I don't know how that would even affect me physically, but it does. It does.
Interesting. Peace, Love, and Light wants to know, why are we woken up between the hours of 1 to 3 a.m.?
They're saying that that's when witching hour, whatever, they say that the veil is thin enough that if something is coming through, if something needs to come through, that is the time that happens. I'm not really 100% convinced of any of that. I've never had a particular time that I've been woken up, but I do know that it does happen. And I don't know if it's maybe a collective thought that happens for people.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have now, question-wise. I think, oh no, people are... What does it mean to keep dreaming about my third eye waking up?
Well, it either has, or you're getting clear messages that you need to work on doing that. And you can just look up exercises you can look up meditations on that. A lot of times, because you think about it, guys, what do you spend most of your life doing? Two things. You're awake, you're asleep. When you're awake, your conscious mind is in control. You're dealing with your everyday average life, going to work, taking care of kids, cooking, cleaning, whatever it is you do. We override anything that is coming through. If we're getting clear signs from spirit, clear signs from your spirit guides, your ancestors, you have the noise of the outside world that is barreling down on you, and it is very easy to ignore. When you lay down and you go to sleep at night, your subconscious mind takes over, and all of that outside noise is gone, and it is absolutely the best time for any messages that are going to come to you. And that's why it's so important you start writing things down to remember them. If you don't want to write them down, pick up your phone, do a little voice message, and just say, I saw 3 horses and they were running across a field, but the field led to a cliff where, just answer, just write, or say whatever it is you're seeing, because I promise you will not retain that information. When your conscious mind is completely awake and takes over, again, shutting everything out and taking over your day, you are going to forget the dream that you just said. I will not forget that dream. Oh my God, that was amazing. So yeah, do not take for granted. Even the most seasoned dream work person forgets a dream if they do not write it down or they do not record it. It's just a fact of life. Star Trek dream log. Yeah, there you go. Make a log. Who's the old hag? Well, she visited me a couple of months ago. She got right in my face 2 or 3 times. I mean, right into my face.
Oh, wow,
And
just like what she described just there.
yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she just literally was like, bam. And I was like, no. I didn't say anything out loud, but I'm the type of sleeper, when I wake up, I wake completely up. I'm not a groggy person. But when she got into my face and I made myself wake up, I literally, thank you for the gift. I literally was just, I couldn't keep my eyes open, and she kept just like pushing me back to sleep. It happened 3 times total of me fighting completely. And I just finally in my head told her, you are not coming into my space and you are not going to do this. Get out. And it stopped, and I was able to wake myself up and stay awake for a minute and gather myself and gather my thoughts. She didn't mean any harm. She just wanted me to know she was there, because she would not have gotten through my wards in my house and my protections had she meant any ill will to me. She was just letting me know she was there. Sleep paralysis. Yeah, I used to have sleep paralysis when I was a lot younger. That doesn't happen to me at all anymore. I mean, like a child. I don't have that anymore. Yeah. When you wake up and your dreams feel so real that you have to. I mean, I've literally woken up after dreaming of someone's death and woke up and had to literally stop and make it right in my head. Is that real? No. Okay, that didn't happen. That did not happen. So yeah, it is extremely scary when something does, but I'm telling you, something that significant needs to be written down, needs to be recorded. You need to take note of those. What?
The love Sky said, I used to have a dream of a shadow figure with a hat. Who is this? Too scared to look it up.
Well, that's the Hat
Oh
Man.
my God, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Talking about
I knew
He's
you were
in
gonna
every
say
culture. He's in every,
that. That's why I
you
gasped.
name it, he's there. He's actually been with my oldest son since my oldest son was old enough to describe who this person was. So 2, 3. He tends to not do anything but watch, stand in the doorway, and it's usually a very tall, shadowed figure with a hat. Sometimes the brim of the hat varies, depending on the culture. Most of the time, majority of the time, he does not speak. He's just a watcher. But he is your higher level of shadow persons. And people are like, what could he possibly want? If he was with your son when your son could speak his name or speak what he looked like and describe him at 2 or 3, what could he possibly want with your son? Well, when people have special abilities, pretty important paths that they need to follow and take in their life, he tends to be there to knock you off that path. And I've literally dealt with, what you looking for?
Tissue.
I don't have anything.
Okay, it's okay.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Sorry,
No,
we're
no,
talking
no.
about the Hat Man.
So yeah, I've had some dealings with him, face to face dealings with him in shamanic traveling, and
Is
it
that
was
where you see him, as in dreams and in that type of deal, or
no,
people
this
do
was
that? It's
shamanic
like a,
traveling where I drank some tea, went into a meditative state, and I traveled to take my son away from him. And I did take my son away from him. And my son is 33. And when I took my son, and it took a lot of coaxing because this thing has been with my son since he was his entire life.
You were saying he knocks you off the path. Someone was
Oh,
reminding you where you
yeah,
were.
he's there to knock people off their path and to make sure that they don't. And he wants to convince you that everybody leaves you. I've always been here. I don't judge you. I don't do anything to you. I'm just here and I'm always here. So it's a lot of false information, a lot of false, like, you really have been here. And no, you really have never hurt me. So you have to be on my side, and he's not. He is not on your side. But when I did, it took a lot of convincing in this meditative state, convincing my son to come with me, come here, because where he stood was pitch dark.
Mm.
Where I stood was light. And so I finally coaxed him close enough to me to grab his hand and pull him to me. And when I did, he was about 2 years old. My son was. So I just took him and I grabbed him and I engulfed us in the light, and then we were back. So I have to keep reminding my son, stay in the light. Stay in the light, because he's going to try to convince you that it's better off over there and that you're better off over there. He's never left you. So yeah, it's I have a lot of dealings with the Hat Man, and so whenever I start to go within and do inner child work, I dream of performing an exorcism. Is that normal? It can be. If that's literally what
Wow.
resonates with you to do,
wow.
then absolutely. Absolutely. Because an exorcism is just literally pulling that person, that situation away from the dark.
Wow.
It was scary. It was very scary. To date, that's probably the most terrifying thing that I have ever done, shamanically traveling. So,
Somebody asked, what does it mean if you can no longer remember your dream?
people go through phases. Now, the most common, let's bring in the mundane, and let's rectify and write before I say, oh, well, it is something that is just out of this world understanding. Your routine can be disrupted. You can be having a change of what's going on at work, in your life. There could be a big shift in the situation that's happening. It could literally just be a disruption in your normal day-to-day that causes your sleep cycle to get disturbed, so that you are having difficulty hitting those hitting that level of REM sleep where your dreams are right there on the surface, right there where you can remember them. Because a lot of time, because your brain is still working and you're still dreaming, you're just not in a state where you can remember them. And a lot of times the mundane is the cause. You're exercising before you go to bed, which keeps your brain active for quite some time. If you eat a heavy meal before you go to bed, drink alcohol, smoking, if you have your card or if you're a regular smoker, that is not the best thing to do if you want to remember your dreams. That is not a good combination to use if you want to remember dreams. Sleep medication, things that make you sleep, are not good because you think, well, but I'm sleeping. It's making me go to sleep. Something to do with the balance of the chemicals in your brain. It's not allowing you to, it's knocking you out. It's just you're not hitting that right there in that sweet spot where you're going to remember your dreams.
Let's see.
Yeah, you got to write these things or to record these things immediately because your brain has still not fully given function over to the conscious. You're still, when you wake up and you remember a dream, you're still kind of in that subconscious level. And when you get up and you get to moving and you get your blood flowing, your temperature starts to, you start working on the conscious level, and the subconscious just kind of falls to the wayside. And it's very, very hard to remember them that way. Still not dreaming. I'm telling you guys, you can ask for help from your spirit guides. You can ask for help from your ancestors, your guardian angels. Before you're going to lay down your head at night, ask them, hey, look, I know that, we don't talk. Let me introduce myself. They know you. You just don't know who they are. But they know you, and you can say, look, I'm having a lot of difficulties remembering dreams. I would like to be able to remember my dreams. I just need your help. Just put that into my head consciously and come to me. Let me see you. Let that be my dream, that I can see my spirit guides and meet you and know what you look like. And yeah, you can ask for that. You can set intentions. Set intentions when you lay your head down. Don't say, oh, I hope I remember my dreams tonight. I hope I have dreams tonight. I hope I have good dreams. Don't do that, because everything that you're asking for is just on the other side of hope. And it's not going to come to you. You manifest it, and you set your intention and manifest it as, I remember my dreams. I wake up fully and completely remembering every dream I had specifically. And just keep telling yourself, keep telling yourself that, keep telling yourself that. And before you write it down in the morning, do it again the next day. Do it again the next day. Do it again the next day. Because eventually your brain's going to be like, okay, it's time. This is usually when she pop quizzes us and we've got to write all this stuff down. So keep it right here. Keep it right here so that I can remember it.
Ooh, that's a good question. Did you
What?
see the sleep tones or music frequency? That one.
He was asking about using sleep tones or frequencies while you're sleeping.
Those are wonderful to do. Literally, if you can handle, I've got a pair of them on the way. It's like the sleep mask, but it has the built-in little headphone thing. Yes, because the only way I can really listen is if I have headphones in. I can't do earbuds; they hurt. So I love listening to frequencies. You can listen to frequencies of anything that you're asking. You can be wanting to go to sleep tonight and you're dealing with a lot of anxiety, so you can literally put in meditation for anxiety, meditation for release of trauma. Find those hurts that correlate with that, because you can find all of that information. You can YouTube all of that. The things that you're looking for is going to be on there. Put it in, listen to that. But also know that the higher frequencies that you listen to, those can give you a headache. So the lower frequencies for your lower chakras, higher frequencies for the higher chakras. So, and they are a lot higher. So you have to be very conscious of what it is you're wanting. If you're trying to bust open your third eye and you're listening to meditation for that, it could give you a headache. You could wake up feeling really crappy. So just be cognizant of that before you do it. Listen to whatever it is you're going to listen to when you're, in your dream state, in your sleep state. Listen to it for a little bit during the day. And if you cannot handle it during the day in your wake state, you're going to wake up feeling really crappy if you go to bed trying to listen to that.
Someone asked something and I just lost it.
Somebody wanted to they want to connect with their spirit guides, their dreams, and had bad ones. You just got to wrap yourself up in protection, wrap yourself up in white light, and put that egg around you. And no matter what is on the outside of that egg and that light in that dream cannot hurt you. Cannot hurt you. I have yet to have anything to be able to get to me, to do me any harm by doing the light and the shell. And the light can be whatever color you want, whatever resonates with you. If the most soothing and protective light that you can imagine is like this burnt orange color, then fill that space in that egg with that color.
How you do like the egg thing?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do is start out small. So small meaning yourself. So imagine, you don't even have to feel it around you. A lot of times it's easier for me to close my eyes and imagine that I'm sitting in front of myself. And I can see the outline of myself, and like I'm watching a movie, like I'm watching myself put this egg around me. And then I picture this absolutely blinding white light going into that egg, and then it just fills it, almost like you're filling up liquid, filling it up with this blinding white light. And you say what can permeate into that light, because you don't want to keep everything out, because you want to keep your deity, whoever that is. Mine is Unehana, who is my Cherokee God. I want to allow him to come through. I want to allow my guardian angels to come through. I want to allow my spirit guides and my ancestors, and I always say, that are for my higher good, because they aren't always. So you say what can permeate through that, because you want those people in your space. You want them to be able to get to you. What's the most important as well is to say what cannot. Nothing negative that means me any harm to my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual self may not enter into this space. And I also say the good things, God, guardian angels, they can follow me into the dream world, and they can return, and only them, no one else. They can go with me into the astral plane or traveling, and they are the only ones who can return with me. Because if you're unprotected and you're not realizing that you're traveling and you're winding up in the astral plane, you can pique the interest of something. A lot of things live in those planes of existence out there that we don't know about. And if they see an opening and you're not protected, let's see what she's got going on. And they'll piggyback. And they'll come back through this level of existence back here. And that's what causes a lot of the reasons that people are getting sleep paralysis and horrible nightmares and, sensing things in the room, seeing shadows, because those things have come through with you. And if you're not protecting yourself every night, whether or not you're dreaming of those things or planning on going to the astral plane, you can't control that. You can't control that in your dream.
Somebody asked, like kind of related to that, how can you tell if someone is dream walking to visit you?
Well, for one, you can ask them, and you can decide if you're having a collective dream. If I used to have dreams, and I would go to school, and I would hear my friend talk about a dream she had, and I'm just standing there like, you didn't, that was my dream. Why is she talking? I didn't tell her that. How does she know about my dream? Well, I was horribly bullied So I'll be darned if I was going to open my mouth and say something for them to be like, okay, yeah, well, whatever, not believe and just think I'm even more weird than they already thought I was. But so that happened, and it happened, and I was very young when this happened. I remember just like snippets of movies of instances where it happened, and as I got older I realized I was the common denominator in all that. So I was traveling to their dreams. So had I been around someone very connected to me, very understanding of what I can do and what I know, get with a friend and go, look, let's try to go into each other's dream. Let's have it set up that we're going to meet. We'll meet at the mall. That way we'll know if we're both having the same dream, we're going to both be at the mall. And I can say in my mind, okay, I'm going to think of something that I want you to notice about me in this dream. And I want you to think of something and not tell each other what these things are. Like, I'm going to have pink hair. And I say that to myself. So the next day when you have this dream, you're talking to your friend and they say, oh my God, it worked. We were at the mall. Did you dream? Yeah, I dreamt about that too. The weirdest thing, you had pink hair. Well, they didn't know that. And they didn't know that that's what you had in your mind. And you can say, I know that. And what is so weird is you were wearing glasses and you never wear glasses. And they're going to go, yep, that's kind of what I had decided we were going to do. And collectively, come on, you didn't discuss this. You guys are having a collective dream, because all dreams are interconnected, whether you believe it or not. They're just like this huge warehouse with all these rooms, and everybody's dreams are kind of here. And some people can walk down that hallway and open a door and go into that other person's dream. Everyone has the ability to do it. You just have to work at it. Some people have I have an innate ability to do that. And you just have to work at it. It's best to start out with people people you trust, because you don't want to go into somebody's dream that, I did that when I was younger. I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I didn't realize that I needed to have permission to go into other people's dreams. Now, I do it for shamanic reasons. I do it to help people in that plane. So, and I've said this many times to people. Did I come get you, Mama? Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah. So if you guys ever need my help, you can set an intention when you're going to bed at night. Obviously, put yourself in that egg, but you have to allow me access if you trust me. I need you to trust me. I'm not going to invade your space. But a lot of times when people are scared, not understanding what's happening, and they've set that intention, if I get into this space that is very scary, this space that I don't understand, I need Pam to come and help me. So that when you're in that dream, you don't have to be lucid. Your subconscious already knows, okay, here's a situation. She said she needs Pam. And then I'll be called. So, and I can't wake up the next morning and go, oh, yeah, Mama, I remember you called for me last night. I don't always know that. I help people on a different plane and on a different level that, I don't realize it at times. There are times that I do. Most of the time I don't. But I'm always helpful. I try to be helpful. I set the intention that if anybody, and I say that before I go to bed every night, if somebody needs my help and it does not harm me in any way, let them call to me and I will come to you. I pulled you out from drowning. Wow. That's very, very interesting.
I know somebody said a while ago that they felt like there was we're just glad to be here.
Oh,
So I thought that
thank
was
you
sweet.
so much. Yeah, no, this is what I love. This is what innately I know.
I feel like I was brought here for a reason. That's what
Oh, wow.
super sweet.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. So, in preparing yourself so that you can dream, because we can talk about all of this stuff, but if you aren't a dreamer or if you're having difficulties dreaming, then none of this even matters. So, you have to make your space where you sleep. Oh, let me show y'all my t-shirt. I got that from Filey 35, Miss Amanda.
Amanda, look
It's
how
okay.
That's cute.
It is.
That's
I
adorable.
love
It
Are
is-
those crystals?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it is infused. I guess the ink is infused with amethyst and black tourmaline. So if you
Oh my
can't
gosh,
carry,
that's cool.
if you can't carry stones in your pockets, and she specifically asked what stones,
Oh my god, that's awesome.
what crystals I wanted.
Just
So
a freaking
she is.
best.
Yes, there she is, Filey 35. She
Yeah,
is
I know.
amazing.
She asked if we were whispering because she thought she was hearing things. I was like, no, it's us whispering.
It is literally you whispering. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can hear them in the background.
Obviously, I cannot whisper.
When I get to
We can't
talking,
because we're both half deaf.
well, yeah, Filey will have to tell you where we got it. Let me see. This says, it's Silver Lining, but it's spelt funny. So it's www.slvrlng.com. Silver Lining. It's kind of a shortened way of saying Silver Lining. I know you can't. I mean, it's backwards, but
put the link in
SLVR. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody had mentioned your teas.
Oh yeah. So my teas on the website are labeled differently. I've made a couple of little tweaks and changes. I've changed the names to better identify with how I do my job and how I do my work. So the Dreamwalker tea is still Dreamwalker tea because that was 100% my invention. The Blue Raven is now just meditation tea blend, and you'll look on there. You can see on there all the teas. The menopause tea. I have the day blend, night blend. The one for respiratory health to help with congestion and stuff. That's all on there. Yeah, just go to nativedreamwalker.com. Everything is listed on there. All of my services, and on the dream interpretation, it's all intuitive. It is based on me sitting on Zoom, on a phone, any way that we need to do it. It basically is intuitive. I sit and we talk about what's going on in your waking life, what's going on in your life as a whole, and then we go over the dream. And I'm telling you, the dream always has a correlation to what is happening in your waking life. It's just you are not able to interpret it because all that information that's coming in has made it come across in such a way that it doesn't make sense to you. And that's okay. If you can figure it out, that's wonderful. But if you can't, then I can help you with that because intuitively I go off of a really strong intuition and I'm rarely ever wrong. That is what I do. The dream work is it's my most important gift, I think. No, I know. It's my most important gift. So,
someone asked about the Blue Lotus tea. Is that good for any, like, my dreaming? And is that good for any dreaming? Sorry.
yeah, Blue Lotus is good for dreaming. That's one of the ingredients in the Dream Walker tea and
Okay,
in
that's
the
what that-
and in the meditation. The Dream Walker tea what kind of makes it stand apart from any of the others. It is for dreaming. It does have Mexican dream herb in it. That is the key ingredient for that helps you connect more in your dream state and help you remember them better. Also, as far as getting your space comfortable, getting yourself comfortable in a comfortable place so that you can optimize your sleep, because optimizing your sleep is going to help you dream. And it is not going to be, you're not going to go to sleep tonight and everything be fixed by morning if you go to bed at a decent hour. It's a process, and it's something that you have to get your body in a routine and rhythm of doing. Once it realizes, okay, this is the point that consistently I know that she's relaxed, she's able to go into that dream state, I'm able to release and let go, and then I'm able to let the dreaming start. Your body starts learning your own rhythm so that it can help you remember your dreams. But you have to do the footwork. You can't just wake up in the morning with that mindset of, oh my God, I had the coolest dream. I cannot wait to tell Jenny at work. It's going to be so cool. And you get to work and you're like, I had a cool dream. I know it was really cool because I woke up thinking you're the first one I wanted to tell, and it's gone. So you have work to do there. You set all this up, and your body and your mind sets everything in motion from routine over a couple of weeks, and you're dreaming, but you're not doing the work of recording or writing them down the next morning. You're kind of defeating your purpose. So there is some work to it. You need a dream journal, because you can't just take one dream and it makes sense. Sometimes dreams are a process, and you need to be writing these down or recording them over a period of a few days. And there are times when you can literally read that and it literally tells a story. And it is amazing when that happens, because you look at it and go, had I not put all these dreams together or wrote them down, because I would have forgotten the last ones that I just had, I never would have gotten this message that my grandmother is trying to tell me that I'm going to be a grandmother. And all these signs that in these dreams that were coming to me, had I not written those down, I would not have had this information. So they're all messages, guys. You just have to be able to, you have to put the footwork in. You have to do the work for that. It's not going to get done for you by, okay, I'm going to bed at a decent hour, okay? So that should be enough. No, it's not enough. If you truly want to understand your dreams, work on having lucid dreams. There are people who still can't master lucid dreams. Now, lucid dreams have been something that I thought everybody could lucid dream, because that's how I dream. I lucid dream. Every dream is a lucid dream for me. Once I realized, as I got older, what I was doing. But you have to work at it. Yeah, and you have these dreams that you know that the world needed that information, and it's gone. So hopefully it'll if you have that dream again, definitely document it.
Someone was asking about dream crystals, but I didn't know if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over
that.
some
I thought
crystals
you
that you can put by your bed, put under your pillow. Literally, I have some people hold them in their hands. They just feel like that's what they need to do. We'll go over some of those crystals that are very, very good for dream work. Yeah, when you wake up more exhausted or just as exhausted as when you went to bed, you're probably doing some traveling in the astral plane, and it is very exhausting. And you can be going a little bit of here, there, and everywhere. And why? I don't know. I would have to just sit and talk with you about what's happening. But yeah, It's definitely a journey that I don't know why it affects us physically. When we do come back to our bodies and we do wake up in the morning, I don't know why it gives us such an exhausted feeling, but it does. It's a different kind of exhaustion, though. You're still able, because your brain was still allowing your body to rest. Physically, you're okay. You're just a lot of mental exhaustion, and it's kind of hard to function. But yeah. So in my Native American culture, if you dream of someone dying, especially if they're young, when you dream of them dying, like a child or a young adult, I was always told that, and I'm Cherokee, I was always told that meant that person would live a very long and healthy life. Take it as you will, because I dreamt of both of my sons dying, and both of them were very young. So hopefully that stands true, and hopefully they'll have very long, healthy lives. So, yep, go to bed exhausted and then wake up exhausted. Even though you know your body has regenerated, you've reached that level of sleep to where your body's and cells and everything are, because once you hit REM, that's when everything can regenerate. Your cells can reformulate, get new cells happening, and your body is resting. But if you are traveling into the astral plane, then it can give you that same feeling of exhaustion when you wake up the next morning. And I can tell when a lot of people have called out to me to help them in their dreams, because I literally will wake up that very same way. When you dream about tsunamis, it's very, very hard for me, guys, when you ask me to tell you what it means when you dream about, this thing or this thing, because that's something you can Google. There's all kinds of search engines for what it means if you dream about this, what it means if you dream. I have to sit and have a conversation with you about your day-to-day life, about what's happening in your life, because it doesn't necessarily mean like you can read in a dream interpretation book or a site that this means this. It doesn't always mean that for you in that specific dream. How do you get the exhaustion to go away? I've yet to figure that out. I've yet to figure that out. I'm sorry. Just, I don't know. Extra coffee? I don't know. I would suggest that you be very cognizant of what you're doing before you go to bed, so that you're not having too much caffeine. You're not doing things that are not conducive to your body, whether you're out in the astral doing whatever. You still have to make your space conducive to your body to be able to hit that level of sleep, so that your body is regenerating, your cells are regenerating, and you're resting.
Hey Pam, somebody asked, because this is the second time this has come up, so that's why I'm bringing it up, is somebody asked if you'll still be using the black horses.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, I'm still tied to my black horse, and if it helps you to want to call on me, then absolutely. That will never change. If you think black horse, if that's what comes to your mind, then I still identify with that, and that would absolutely work just fine. Can wearing their charms and crystals to bed block your dreams? It can, depending on what crystals it is. And also some crystals, because they all have their own frequency, they all have their own vibrations, they all do specific things. So some crystals can be very energizing, very so you're not sleeping as well. You're blocking some of the things that you are needing to come through. Let's go over some crystals for dreaming. So you know that they have healing properties. They hold certain vibrations and energies that can be used to heal a variety of physical and emotional distress, including sleep disorders. So if you guys want to write these down, hopefully we'll figure out how to get this posted onto YouTube, so you'll have that information and you can go back to that. The first one is amethyst. It is known to stimulate your third eye, and that's basically your connection to the spirit realm. So the vibrations of this crystal are helpful for regulating our dreams. It makes it one of the best crystals for lucid dreaming as well. So amethyst is kind of a base stone that is a staple that everybody should have anyway. So if you want to utilize it, put it by your bed, put it under your pillow, put it in a sachet under your, under your pillow, or literally I have a little sachet on a couple of stones that I put, and I put them in my bra even when I sleep. And yes, I sleep in a bra. Sorry to break that to y'all. Most people are like, ew, who sleeps in a bra?
Good support.
That's right. Girls
Okay,
need it.
the next one is ametrine. And ametrine is basically amethyst and citrine.
Is it AMATRINE?
AME.
AME. Okay.
And so it creates a powerful combination of both of their energies. So it's another top choice for dream work and lucid dreaming. And it serves to enhance mental clarity upon opening up your consciousness. And howlite. Howlite is probably the most used stone because it is dyed to look like other stones. It is the most common used stone. It is the stone that is used to make fake turquoise. And everybody poo-poos, oh, that's not real turquoise. But it's howlite. And howlite in itself is amazing. Howlite it's white, and it has the silver veining that you can see through it. So when you dye it, and you imagine dyeing it a turquoise color, it does look a lot like turquoise. And people poo-poo that, but you know what? Howlite is amazing. It's a wonderful stone, and it's probably one of my top 3 for anxiety, to carry for anxiety. So it vibrates at a frequency that brings a sense of serenity. It calms rage, anxiety, negativity, and can also relieve and regulate issues related to sleep. It helps alleviate any brain fog and helps make space for dreams. That should be one of your top 3 stones for sleep. Labradorite. It's the best crystals for dreaming. It stimulates a sacred connection to the spiritual realm and aids in awakening and igniting higher levels of consciousness. Lepidolite. Its ability to calm anxious thoughts and mood swings. It provides a stabilizing energy to soothe your soul. Next to amethyst, lepidolite is also one of the most effective crystals for dreaming. It helps to remove blockages and overcome self-defeating habits, which in turn can stimulate emotional and psychological healing. Blue apatite. It's known for supporting the process of lucid dreaming. It stimulates the third eye chakra, and it helps to recall forgotten dreams. There you go, right there. When used with intention, and it can influence your dreams. So that's a very good one. Bloodstone, and those, what's funny is all of these are, except for the howlite, are blue color stones. So bloodstone, it's also one of the most used crystals for dreaming. Its beautiful stone supports dream work by revealing new perceptions, helps gain insight about yourself, and overcomes obstacles or stress. Because that's what your dreams are. Your dreams are literally your mind's information coming to you to try to figure out things in your waking life. Let's find a solution to why you're stressed. Let's find a solution to what you need to do to get through your day. That's what dreams are for. They are for you to figure everything out and to take care of things. That's literally what's happening when you're sleeping. So bloodstone helps you overcome any obstacles or stress. Kyanite. It's an incredible stone for intuitive support. It works to shift your perception, reduce self-defeating habits, and opens up your consciousness. It's one of only 2 minerals that do not hold on to negative energy. When used with the intention to regulate sleep patterns and support dream work, this stone serves to be a powerful crystal for lucid dreaming. I have so many people that ask about lucid dreaming, and you could literally have these all by your bed, and I guarantee you it'll start happening. Green jade, so it's also known as a dream stone anyway, so it's a powerful crystal for enhancing your dreams and helping you to remember them. It also clears negativity, promotes creativity, and brings spiritual and emotional insight. You then have red jasper. It radiates energy that empowers the spirit and protects it against negativity. It's known as the stone of endurance, working to bring stability and harmony to chaotic experiences or dreams. Clear quartz. Of course, it's also known as a perfect jewel, is a highly vibrational stone that can clear negativity because it's an amplifier. It amplifies any intention that it is programmed to help with. Whatever you need it for, if you are needing it for protection, you can program it for that. It's going to, and you have all these other stones for protection, you put clear quartz with it, it's going to amplify what those other stones are doing. Lapis, I hear it lazuli, but it's actually lapis lazuli. It stimulates mental clarity and expansion, making it very powerful crystal for dream work. It evokes spiritual awareness and supports psychic and intuitive abilities. It can connect with higher frequencies to expand your consciousness, which provides a deeper connection to mind, body, and spirit. So if you want to program it to use it for dreaming, you can practice a third eye meditation and place the stone on your third eye. Practice a sleep meditation while holding onto the stone, or you can put them under your pillow, on your nightstand, or anywhere around your place where you sleep. You can literally tuck them under the mattress, between the mattress and the box spring. I have tons of people ask about stones. I hope that helped you guys out so that you can find what works. I wouldn't encourage you to go get every single solitary one of these, put them in a big bag, and then throw them underneath your pillow, because there's a little thing called crystal chaos. You just kind of got to be careful. You might have too much of one thing, too much of a good thing, I guess you could say, and you have 6 stones that are for lucid dreaming, and you slam it under your pillow and you go to sleep and you don't know why you had the most horrendous nightmares you've ever had in your life. So introduce things very slowly, because like I said, these have power and these have vibration and energy that they put off, that you have to kind of work your way up to those. So be very cognizant of that.
Somebody asked, should we cleanse them? If so, how often?
Yes and no. Crystals have been around. They've been around for millions of years. They've been here since the beginning, and they're doing what they are intended to do. Now, the ones that I carry on me every day, day in and day out, they are absorbing and they are blocking and they're doing what they're supposed to do. There's only so much of that they can take before they stop being effective for you. That's when a lot of people go, I had an amethyst necklace and it just broke in two and just fell off my neck. I don't know what happened. Well, a lot of people are like, oh, that took a hit for you, girl. Chances are it's taking a lot and it's absorbing a lot for you. There's only so much that it can absorb before it needs to be cleansed. So the ones that I wear on an everyday basis, especially when I worked at the psych hospital, I had a pocket full of crystals that, God love them, they worked wonderful, and I would take them out every day and put them on a selenite charger plate when I would just empty my pockets every day, so that the next morning when I woke up, they were ready to go completely ready to absorb anything that I was taking on at my job. Those, yeah, you need to be cleansing those. The ones that you put by your bed, I would literally say on a full moon, cleanse them. On a new moon, cleanse them. You don't have to even put them outside. You can put them in a windowsill. I'm sorry, but the moon, if the moon can affect oceans and our bodies, they can get through into your house. The moon, the energy of the moon. It's the energy that cleanses it. So yeah, you can cleanse them. You don't have to, it's not like an crazy thing, but yeah, they do need to be cleansed every once in a while. Well, Folly, Amanda, you're sleeping with a lot of things there, but there are a lot of things that are protective, and then the labradorite seems to be really the only one that's more for like spiritual connection, things like that. So I think that's a very good combination. Anything black is gonna protect you.
Tara asked, what are your thoughts on stones and dream catchers?
Dream catchers are wonderful. Dream catchers really, truly do work. And because it's my culture that I understand about dream catchers, I would ask that you would get them from someone who is indigenous and who makes them, because as they make them, they're putting the intention, just like anything anyone makes, they're putting the intention of what that is going to be for into that. So if you order one off Amazon that comes from China and it's 15 different colors of feathers, it's probably, I'm not going to say it won't work. I think a lot of that belief that it works is what comes from you. But I also know that indigenous people sell these to provide for their families and provide for their communities. And I think that if I had one, I would probably want one made by someone who I knew that it was going to provide for an indigenous family. I know that everyone's having a hard time and they could use it as opposed to getting one from China. So, but by all means, if you find one that you just think that it's decorative and it's beautiful and you would like to hang it on your wall in your living room next to your clock, by all means do it if you like the beauty of it. But if you want one for what it's truly intended, it needs to be made by an indigenous person. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of intention that are put behind those dream catchers to do what they are supposed to do.
Oh, she was saying, Tara said, I would think the dream catcher would hold the energy of the stones rather than let them drip to you. Like because the stones are inside the dream catcher.
Oh, stones inside. There really shouldn't be. There can be one stone. There should be one bead that is in the dream catcher for it to be an authentic dream catcher. That's how an indigenous person would truly make that. So
the one below that says, I was taught that the indigenous people who make them call upon the spider god as they are creating them.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's the intention that they're putting into that dream catcher, because that's what it's truly for. The web of that spider god, sticky, bad dreams, negativity comes in, that web stops that from entering into that. And so it is good to cleanse those as well, because they can only take so much as well. They work only as good as how well they're taken care of. So, make sure that it is truly made for, from someone who knows the intention that they're putting into that.
Someone said that they'd heard that red willow tree should be used for dream catchers.
That's one of the main ones. I think a lot of different ones can, but I think that's the main one that I've heard of, and I do know that it is very soft wood and is very pliable, and it's very, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember that name either, Tara. But yeah, absolutely. So stones, basic guys, routine. Get yourself a routine, and I know it's really hard. Make your room as comfortable as you possibly can. You have to get yourself into this routine of sleep because you have to reach those stages of sleep for dreams to manifest. And again, I know there's going to be times where that's not possible. If you're a new mother, if you're caring for someone who may wake up in the night and need your assistance, your brain is literally not going to allow you to go into that deep level of sleep where your dreams do start happening. Because your brain subconsciously, I can't go that deep of sleep. They may need me. I may be called into work. My phone may ring, and I feel like I'm going to get called in. So you're not going to have a good night's sleep. You're not going to remember your dreams. You may remember little snippets. And one of the most important times of dreaming is, do you ever wake up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, have to go to the bathroom, get up and go to the bathroom, come back and lay down, and when you go back to sleep, just as you're entering into that deep as your dream starts, that's when you have very, very, very vivid dreams, dreams that are very, very easy to recall, so that when you do wake up in the morning, your alarm goes off. That's when you want to make sure that you're writing them down, recording them, because those are some pretty vivid dreams when you've woken up and gone back to sleep. Oh, somebody thought I was reading.
Yeah.
No reading. No reading. But yeah, guys, I also love to work with children. If you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, somebody you're very, very close to who has night terrors, who is having some really, really difficulty in going to sleep, falling asleep, staying asleep, night terrors, the whole 9 yards, I would love to work with them. I can do Zoom. I talk to the parent, guardian, whoever is there with the child, and I talk to you guys first and find out what's going on, what's happening, and then I do have them bring the child in. I won't ever meet with the child alone. Is always with you, and I ask them questions, very simple questions, things that don't require them to delve too much into their fears. And I've helped a lot of children be able to get past that, decrease those episodes, make them feel safe, and yeah, I that's all on my dream services on my side. I love that. I'm a retired pediatric psych nurse, so I do understand how to speak to children in a way that makes them feel safe, allows them to talk about how they're feeling and get to the bottom of it, and hopefully figure out what's happening that is causing this to happen to them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does happen. It does happen. I have a couple of people who I've met off TikTok that I've helped their children, and they say that they're doing very well. And that doesn't mean that they can do well for months and months or a year or two, and that things like that don't creep back up. just reschedule with me. Sometimes just talking through it and figuring out, okay, you guys moved into a new house. They moved to a new school. Things are very, we can just figure out what's going on and try to figure out if that's contributing to that or not. And if there's something more to it, if there's something that is beyond just what's happening in their day-to-day causing that, if there are things that maybe they're attracting by not being protected and they're traveling and they're going into the astral plane and not knowing they need to be protected, and they're bringing things back unknowingly that are just kind of not doing physical things to them, but just terrorizing them, scaring them, making them feel like they don't want to go to bed at night, things like that. So we can figure out if it's something physical or is it something metaphysical. So yeah, we can help that way too. What time is it? How much time do I have?
It's like 8:20.
Is it really?
Okay.
My Lord, y'all.
Okay.
I feel like we've been I'm like, we're about to go over time. We're about to go over time.
Well, last time we had me for a little bit, so
That's
it
true.
added like
That's
probably
true.
that
Yeah,
40
it
minutes
was.
in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, Keisha, your kids sleep talk. Yeah. I do. I still do that very occasionally. My husband will say, "You were just chewing somebody out last night," and I'm like, "What did I say?" And he's like, "I couldn't understand you. You were mumbling." But yeah, I don't. I've not been a big sleep talker. Yeah, and a lot of that stuff does present itself hereditary. You have a kid who sleepwalks, and their dad sleptwalked, and because his mom sleptwalked, and it's just kind of I don't know, it's just in the DNA, the sleep cycles are hardwired that way, so that things like that do happen. Yeah.
Great intelligence as well.
Nikki does have a phone app that she records herself, and I've listened to a couple of them, and they're pretty funny. So, and there is a lot behind sleepwalking. There's just something that's released in your body when you hit that level of sleep and start to dream that kind of paralyzes you, and it keeps you from acting out physically the dreams that you're having. And so a lot of times if something disrupts that in the middle of that serious part of the sleep and you wake up, that's when people are like, I couldn't move do anything but move my eyes. I could not move I felt this weight on me. And that's where a lot of sleep paralysis comes from, because people, their brain hasn't shut that chemical off that is allowing you to come out of that and move, and you feel that you can't move. And if you just give it just a second, and then they go, and I lay there, I don't know how long, maybe 2 minutes before I could actually, jump up and startled awake and I could move again. And that's the mundane explanation for sleep paralysis, is that it's a chemical that our brain puts off to keep us from sleepwalking, from acting out that we're cooking, acting those movements out, because we would never sleep. Our bodies would never stop if we didn't have that chemical that would paralyze us from doing those actions. So when you wake up, or you're startled awake, or you didn't slowly come up out of that sleep like you were supposed to, where that chemical shuts off and then everything is allowed to resume, when you wake up and you're paralyzed, it is extremely terrifying, but it is normal. I would love to sit here and say, you have to literally say, okay, I'm awake. I realize this. I just need to just sit here for a moment, let my brain catch up, let that chemical get out of my system so that I can move again, and talk yourself out of it. Talk yourself out of feeling like, oh dear God, I can't move. Something has a hold of me. And yeah, find those mundane reasons to why things happen, because everything's not always metaphysical. Everything's not, there's something in your room or something is come from across the astral plane to get a hold of you. Those things happen. They're not near as pronounced as what they're made out to be. So I don't want to scare you, because those things do exist, but I don't want you to think that everything that happens is that, and is that for a reason. So
Somebody asked if there's a way, any advice on how to see a past life or have a spirit animal come to you.
in a dream, absolutely, yeah. And sometimes things like that come through. I've had one past life for sure that I know came through a dream, because a lot of times if they're past life memories, they're recurring dreams that you've had. In this dream that I had, when I later looked on it, I was a lot older than when I first started having these dreams. I knew it was me, but it was me as a young, maybe just before preteen years. But I started having this dream of myself in this dream when I was about 5. So I never thought about it until later that could not have been me in this life, because I was older, and how can you dream about being an older person? So, and it was a recurring dream that happened up until probably my late teens, probably, when I finally realized that was a snippet of something that truly did happen to me in another life. So yeah, you can set intentions when you're going to bed at night and ask to have your spirit guides, have your ancestors. If it's for your higher good, they will help you. If they feel like you knowing something about a past life because you feel like you lived a certain way, if they don't feel like it's in your higher good, if they don't feel like it's going to enrich your life, bring clarity to your life, or help you along in your path, they're not going to show you those things. But if it's truly something, she wants to learn about herbs and be a healer, yeah, because that's what she does now. So let's show her this past life where she was an actual healer, and she was someone who knew herbs and medicinal herbs, and which is, I'm telling you a little bit of a story about what happened to me. I asked that, and I was shown that because it's truly something that I did, and I knew that I had done in another life, and I was shown that, and it has helped me, and it has enriched me, and it has moved me along in my path and my understanding of healing and herbs. Yeah, a lot of times when you do have sleep paralysis, and that's what people say, if you can just move a finger or move a toe or blink your eyes, a lot of times just that act just shuts that chemical off in your brain just that fast, and you can move again. So I want to say 98% of the time it's not anything supernatural. So it is just something that is just a part of our chemical makeup. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you absolutely could, Amanda. Amanda's asking if she thinks she could be shown her past life she had from London. Yeah, I think that would definitely be something you can ask your spirit guides. Hey.
So you can dream about those things.
Yeah, you can dream about
That's
those
cool.
things. You can also dream to see your spirit guides. Show me who you are. Maybe tell me your name. Maybe have a conversation with me. And to me, the most important thing to learn from knowing who a spirit guide is in a dream is feeling that energy. And say that I want to feel your energy, so that when I'm in my day-to-day life and I'm sensing something and I sense that energy, I'm going to know which spirit guide it is. And sometimes they will tell you their names. Sometimes they will, explain who they are, because they want you to know. They want you to know. If it's in your higher good, they'll tell you. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Your subconscious, when you're asleep and your subconscious takes over, you are so open. You're just like this huge funnel where information, messages can come through. Whereas when you're awake and you're day to day, you don't have time for that. You've got a job you have to attend to. You have children you have to attend to. You have a home you have to take care of. You have a bazillion other things in your day to day life that you deal with. But when you are asleep, that's when your subconscious takes over. That's where the spiritual part of who you are is at its most open, most willing, because there's nothing there to block that information from coming through. Yeah, I can do a spirit guide reading, Dawn. All you have to do is just schedule on nativedreamwalker.com, and I would love to do that. Yeah. Oh, visits from past loved ones. Yeah, when I say your spirit guides, I literally mean your spirit guides and your ancestors, because they all are on that same realm. Because your spirit guides are someone who were alive. They were people. They lived these lives and they crossed over. Your ancestors are the same. And a lot of times your ancestors are your spirit guides. So you've got this wide net of help. And until you acknowledge it, they can't really intercede in your life. They can give you these little hints here and there where you sense them and you feel them. And you kind of know what to do, but imagine if you were to open yourself up before you go to bed and say, I don't know who my spirit guides are. I would love to know who my spirit guides are. I open myself up to you in my dream state, but only my spirit guides and the spirit guides that are for my higher good, to know who they are, to feel their energy, to know that you're there, and I open myself up for you to help me. I know I've never asked for your help before until things got really desperate, but they just want to be acknowledged. They want you to acknowledge who they are and appreciate the fact that they're guiding you and they have a lot of wisdom, but they can't intercede unless you say, I accept your help. I would like for you to intercede on my behalf. I would like for you to step forward in my life and be present in my life and help me make day-to-day decisions. But you have to ask. I do have a scrying mirror, yeah. I haven't used it in a long time. I probably need to break that sucker out and use it, yeah. I prefer scrying with water. Culturally, that's how I was raised. But mirrors are a very, very good way. You just have to be very cautious when you're using a scrying mirror. Anything can be a scrying surface. A lot of times people don't realize that a TV that's not turned on, you can see the reflection, a dark reflection through that can also be used for scrying. So make sure that you've got all those surfaces protected so that only what you want to see and come through can be seen and come through. So, yeah.
How do you, we answered or clean
Saw a face made up of vivid colors and shapes, and it scared you. And you haven't had it since. Well, obviously it didn't repeat itself because it didn't feel like you were ready. And that's another reason you need to have your spirit guides and your ancestors and your guardian angels right there when you're going to bed at night, because they can not let those things through. But if it was for your higher good, then it's something you need to know, then it will continue until you do figure it out. How do you do it, scrying? Basically, you just look at the dark reflective surface. And it's almost like how you see the pictures of the people looking in the crystal ball. You're basically concentrating, kind of putting yourself into a meditative state, and you look into that reflective surface, and you will see images, you will see words, you will see movements, things of that nature. But you have to be very careful because it's no different than a spirit board. Things can come through if you don't have it warded. You can ward it, you can put sigils, you can put protection sigils, use some holy water or Florida water or something that is protective for you. You could charm a reflect a type of pen or something like that to write on your windows, like chalk pens, things of that nature. And you can do it for every window, every door, just protection that no one can come through your door that means you any harm, negativity, or there to take something that doesn't belong to them. You can ward anything, mirrors, windows to your house, the TV that you don't want to use as a scrying mirror. So you think it was good, Dawn? Yeah, it probably was. You just realized that you weren't ready. So it may be something that does, it's probably going to go ahead and come back and show itself to you. And it's giving you time to process what you saw, so that if you saw it again, you probably would be more open to its message.
Did you see that last question? How and why should we call our energies back to ourselves when we wake up?
Ooh, wake up. That's interesting.
Simple. I mean, just simply say, when you wake up in the morning, I call back all of my energy that I released, gave away, was taken from me, knowingly or unknowingly. All of my energy I call back to me. You want to do that because you don't know where you went in your sleep. You don't know what plane you went to. You don't know what you interacted with. You don't know who walked into your dream, whose dream you walked into, who could have taken your energy that way. But you should call your energy back to you quite routinely. Quite routinely. I'm sure you do want to know what it was, Dawn. I have a feeling it's probably going to reveal itself and reveal more about what it's. And don't let mirrors freak you out, guys. If you have a lot of activity and you would draw a lot of spiritual things, because to be honest with you, I have not warded any mirror in this house except for my scrying mirror. I don't ward my entire property is warded in a different way. And so I don't do each specific thing, if that makes sense. I have a ward around my entire property that is literally an egg. And it goes into the sky, down under the surface of the ground, and my property is in the dead center of that, so that nothing can get to it in any way, shape, or form. So that I don't have to do all of the little things and all of the specific things, and I don't have to cleanse something that I bought at a yard sale when I bring it into my property, because my property is warded that way. Scrying is when you are actually looking into a reflective surface. You see people who have the mirrors that are painted black, where you can look into the mirror, the reflective surface of the mirror, and just see black, and you concentrate on looking into that and you can ask questions. You can ask your spirit guides to show you anything that you need to see that is going to help you, going to help someone you love. And you can start, some people can actually see scenes of, almost like you're watching a movie, scenes of things, people moving, images, words. Yeah, it takes some practice, but anybody can do it. Anybody can learn to do that. Is reading in dreams and speaking other languages common? Yeah, it's very common. It is actually common. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you are in that dream at that very specific second, and you are like, okay, I'm in this dream and I'm at this amusement park, and now what am I going to do? You recognize at that moment, I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming right at this moment that I'm at this amusement park. Those are game changers when people realize they can lucid dream. When you first start practicing that, it's hard because as soon as you realize you're lucid dreaming, it pulls you back and you wake up. But those who have mastered it, and I've been able to do it my entire life. I thought it was normal. I didn't realize it wasn't. But once you realize I'm lucid dreaming, and you've done it enough, and you've got pulled out enough, there's going to be one time where you don't wake up, and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And you can do whatever you want to do. You can decide, you know what? I'm going to fly to the moon. And you can just take off and go. You can do whatever you choose to do in a dream. Those are pretty fun. You can make a dream go in any direction you want it to go. If you have a dream that is going dark and taking a dark turn, you can decide, nope, we're not doing that. And you can just turn it into whatever you want it to be. Did you not recognize at that moment that you're reading something? Yeah, if you're lucid dreaming and you know you're lucid dreaming and you recognize it at that moment, you would know that you're reading something. Could be a message, so pay attention to that for sure.
Always become real.
So your prophetic dreaming, I mean, it's pretty common. It does happen. So people can dream of someone passing away, and without fail, that person will pass away. Again, I spoke of that earlier. I don't know what the purpose is of knowing those things. I don't think that we should have enough power to say I can stop those things from happening if I recognize it and go to that person and tell them not to get on that plane and go on that business trip because the plane is going to crash. Or they're going to die in a car wreck on the way to the airport. I don't think that we should yield that kind of power. So I still am trying to figure out what that information is for. What do we do with that information knowing that? Maybe it's to prepare ourselves to know that we have to comfort that person's family, and we need to prepare on how we're going to do that and what we need to do to comfort them, because we can't stop. We can't stop when it's someone's time to pass over. So I do that a lot and I enjoy it. You talking about lucid dreaming? Yeah, it can be absolutely, absolutely fun. Hey guys. Oh, yeah. I mean, there are things that happen that way. Jessica's saying she has a family thing about muddy water. If it's in a dream, something bad with money happens. Yeah, there are literally generational things that can happen that way. If everybody dreams about a horse, then they know, that somebody's probably going to pass away, or somebody's going to be moving away, or something along those lines. Yeah, that can happen generationally. Absolutely can happen generationally like that. Dawn said she had kind of did a lucid dream. Yeah, it does take practice. Now, when you say you kind of did a lucid dream, you can try to do what you want to do. But sometimes when you get that knowing, your brain goes, nope, and you wake right up. But eventually, if you keep doing that and you keep doing that, there's going to be one time where you're like, oh my God, I'm in a dream. And you are not going to wake up. And then you are in total control. You dreamt of your mom. She didn't have a face, but it felt like it wasn't her. It felt like it wasn't her. It felt real. Yeah. And it sounds to me like maybe there's some things going on behind the scenes that aren't really what they seem with your mom. Maybe she's not quite showing everything that everybody needs to see. It was her, but she's not showing completely everything. She may be hiding some things, maybe health-wise. I don't know why I said that, but you might want to see she's doing okay. Sometimes people don't want people to know when they're not doing well health-wise, and they don't want to worry people. So, yeah, check on mom. If you dreamed about going fishing, somebody's pregnant. Yeah, you know, my sister can do that. My sister has told her friends numerous times when they're pregnant, and if she says, I dreamt about you, they would just be like, no.
Oh, man.
If I had a dream about you, and they're like, no.
Please
She
no.
literally had a friend who had 5 kids, and she told her every time.
Oh my
When she was pregnant, she would
Oh
just
my
cry.
gosh.
She just cried.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's lucid dreaming, Jessica, where you're dreaming and you know you're dreaming and you know exactly what's happening and you can control it. Yeah, you can have some fun with those. It's very, very weird, but you can have some fun with those. You dreamt of a witch, felt dark, had dark hair. It was so creepy. I don't know if that was just a dream or it could have been a message from somebody. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to exude peace and love and information and yeah, and that's probably, she said her dad passed away before she was born and she dreamt about him once, but he had no face. And that probably is because your mind couldn't write that what he could possibly look like maybe, but you knew soul wise, your soul recognized his soul even in that dream, and so you knew it was your dad. So yeah. Yes, you always need to have something to write on. Something, again, you don't have to write a novel. You don't have to, I was walking down a dark street and I saw a blue car. You don't have to do all that. Because if I had to write paragraphs like that, I wouldn't write my dreams down at all. That's too much. I literally, walking, dark, street, 2 street lamps, hearing dogs, porch light came on. Just, little snippets, and you can go back later and go, okay, fill in the spots, fill in the blanks, and you can have a whole paragraph when you do that. Or you can just keep those trigger words, and then your brain will fill in the rest so that you can remember that always. Hello? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Someone said they'd heard there's a chance of getting lost in lucid dreams. Is that real?
I don't think so. Personally, because I have lucid dreamed. Every dream in my entire life has been a lucid dream for me. So, if anybody was going to get lost, it probably would have been me. But no, I don't believe that, and I'm not. I think some people can go too far. I think some people it can be dangerous if you go too far, but I don't think anybody's ever had issues coming back. So that's just my personal opinion, though. Hey, thank you. 2 or 3 times you've dreamt about a woman you've never met, but you know she's important. Yeah, that's probably a person in your soul tribe that you have yet to come across, that your soul is just remembering that person, and that person is going to be coming back into your life. Yeah. Now I've literally, Jessica was talking about, you have the dream where you need to go to the bathroom, and like, you know, you always, people say, don't pee in the dream. Don't pee in the dream because you'll pee the bed. That's just your body's way, your mind's way of being like, listen, I know you're dreaming, but I'm going to need you to go to the bathroom. And you're not waking up. Okay, well, I'm going to make it where you go to the bathroom. And if you don't wake up, you're going to have an accident and you'll wake up. That's usually just what happens to children.
Hey Pam, somebody's asking what the pentagram and the bells behind you mean.
Yeah.
That just the star is just for, I mean, this is, the bells are a protection. The bells keep away, cleanse the space, keep away evil. The pentagram, pentacle, actually, the pentagram has the circle around it. This is just the 5-pointed star that is for the elements and spirit. And it's all protection. It has nothing to do with satanic. That has been skewed and perverted through Christianity. The 5-pointed star literally is spirit, earth, air, water, and fire. And it's very protective. And a friend of mine made it for me. And she's a wonderful artist. Miss Carly.
Oh yeah. She made me some stuff too. Let's see. You're at 8:51, Pam.
So the most recent dream, you were dreaming and told yourself you were doing shadow work. You can do shadow work in your dreams. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. You absolutely, because again, when you're asleep, when you're dreaming, it's literally dreaming. It's a therapy session. It's a therapy session. You can set that intention when you're going to sleep. I am going to work on when my dad left my mom and we were destitute and things were very, very hard, and I got separation anxiety and I still suffer from that. You can literally say what you want to work on as far as shadow work goes. And you can do a lot of figuring out when your brain is completely, your spiritual self is completely open to accepting and hearing messages and figuring out what to do. No, I know the shadow work is pretty rough, guys. Nothing about that is easy. That's why it's shadow, because you've suppressed it, repressed it, tamped it down so that you didn't have to deal with it. So yeah, your mind didn't shove that down there for nothing. It's hard work.
Someone said, can you do it without knowing I didn't set intentions?
Yeah. If you know that you've been needing to work on shadow work and it's kind of been crossing your mind here and there, that could literally be your spirit guides going, you're not going to deal with it in your waking life, and you're not going to deal with it. Look, come on, let's take care of it somehow. Let's start doing some shadow work. So yeah, you can do that without even setting an intention. If you've been thinking about it and knowing you need to work on yourself and figure some stuff out with yourself. How can you banish someone negative from walking into your dream? There's no need to banish anything from walking into your dream. You can literally set that intention, put that protection around yourself and the light around yourself, so that anything can be happening in a dream around you and it can affect you. It cannot affect you. But you could say what's not invited. You can say what's not allowed to come around you, anywhere near you, when you put that light around you and you put that shell around you. So there's really no need to banish anything. Is shadow work safe to do on your own with trauma? There are safe ways of doing it. You're not doing things that you haven't lived through. You're not dealing with things. Yeah, it's tough. And if you can find a therapist who will help you with it, because therapists know about shadow work and they're all about shadow work. Shadow work is literally dealing with one thing at a time to bring it to the surface, to integrate it into your life now so that you can have balance with that. And if you need to find someone to help you with that, you know, doing it on your own and you don't feel like you can, I offer private shadow work classes as well. That's on my website, and it's through Zoom. Unless you're local, we can meet. And we can go over exercises. I have a book that we go over and take care of that. So yeah, it's very hard. Shadow work is very, very difficult, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Dealing with your shadow self is the only way you can be your true, authentic self, is to integrate it with the dark, with the light, and then it all kind of comes together and you're able to deal with a lot of things and understand a lot of things about yourself and why you do what you do. What we at right now?
We're at
8:56.
All right, guys, we have just a couple of minutes left, but I don't know if anybody noticed, but I scheduled the next 2 Mondays. It's going to be next week. We'll deal with dreams and spirituality and how that ties in together. And the week after that, which is the week of Thanksgiving on a Monday, these are always on Monday, 7 to 9. It's dealing with dreams and ancestor work and spirit guide work. So that'll be the main, we'll still have all these Q&As. That's not a problem. And if I didn't get to your question and you need an answer on that, message me. You can message me on nativedreamwalker.com. There's an email section there, or you can send an email to nativedreamwalker@gmail.com. What else?
your teas are out there.
Yep. My teas are there that can help you with some dream stuff. Can help you with if you're feeling gunky and yunky and having some respiratory issues. I got tea for that. I got tea for menopause. I got sex magic tea that helps women get their libido back, and I've been taking it.
They can check your live schedule too, right?
Yes, yeah.
Or register for them.
Yep, you guys can register for my lives, and you guys have been absolutely wonderful. You have wonderful questions. Again, if I didn't get to your question and it's something that's pressing, when I get to talking, it's very hard for me because I lose my train of thought really easy, so I don't just go through here and read, because I don't want to lose my train of thought. It's embarrassing. But yeah, so absolutely message me. Visit my website. It is up and running. It is going. If you guys see a mistake, let me know so I can fix it. Everybody who ordered from me, I thank you so much. I got them all out. You guys should have everything coming to you in the mail. They probably should already be there. Maybe today or tomorrow. But yeah, ordering the teas and herbs, loose herbs. I still have the apothecary with all the loose herbs in it, and been fun. I'm got some new things in the works for Christmas. I'm gonna try to get a Black Friday and Cyber Monday specials up, so you guys can schedule with me, and some of my readings will be on special on those days. So. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off here. Thank you, guys. I love you so much, and I hope to see you next week.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yay. Woohoo. you gotta pee?
Really
Okay, go pee.